I want to talk about dehumanization and what dehumanization is, and more specifically how we dehumanize without even knowing it, often, and what kind of consequences that can lead to. Dehumanization is I'm sure a lot of people are aware of it, and especially with during genocides like the Nazis, where people were compared to vermin. I believe it's called animalistic dehumanization, something like that. But that's when you're comparing people to apes, or comparing people to vermin like the Nazis, as a means of taking away any human qualities, making them less human, so that you can justify oppressing or exterminating a group of people. But I wanted to talk more specifically about dehumanization contemporarily, how we use it today, without even knowing it, a lot of the time. And just a little bit of it's kind of some random, well, not random, but some maybe not so related ways we implement dehumanization. But first I want to talk about immigration. Immigration is it's always an issue. It's been an issue for people, I guess. They often say and I'm talking more specifically about the Mexico border. They say deport Mexicans back to Mexico, make them go through legal processes. We don't want illegal aliens. And of course politicians respond to this because it's become so popular. But what I hear a lot of the time is, people say, make them come through legally, it's more beneficial. But these people usually don't even know any of the steps to how you become, a citizen legally, or what kind of things, or how difficult it may be, or how long it may take. Instead, they dehumanize these people. They don't consider them as human beings, They don't consider that they're fleeing poor situations, usually, where they can't feed their families. They're living in shacks or nowhere, and they have no choice. They don't apply it to themselves where they would be in that situation. They don't empathize, because dehumanization allows us to take away empathy, retract any empathy we have towards the person. They don't consider that these people sometimes die on their way from dehydration. They don't consider. They just don't, consider the human aspects of what it would be to be in that situation, and to have to immigrate. And then when you actually, if you do successfully immigrate, the the stereotypes that are going to be waiting, the oppression, it's just going to be there, even if you do successfully come through, legally. But that's just kind of applying a little dehumanization to immigration. I also wanted to talk about, even good, when we hear about good things that people do, or we hear about really good people, sometimes we'll even start to dehumanize them a little bit. We'll say, well, I don't have time like that person does. That person has a lot of time, or we might say this person did that because of this. Which may be true, but it's still a way of us, using dehumanization as a defense mechanism to alleviate, guilt we might have, or thoughts that we might have that are unpleasant, that we don't want, that actually stop our functioning. Which obviously we dehumanize for a reason. We all do it. It's obviously a defense mechanism of our mind. But what I'm saying is, it's important that we recognize when we're dehumanizing, and we consider that usually the people we're referring to, we're trying to make decisions for, homosexuals, or people from the Middle East. They're humans, and we don't consider those qualities. As an example, if you consider maybe in philosophy the trolley dilemma, or trolley problem, where you ask yourself, would you rather have the trolley hit the group of people who are on the track that are not supposed to be, they're not supposed to be on that track, or would you rather change the track and adjust it so it hits the one person who was on the track that was supposed to be inactive? He was on the right track. This group of people were on the wrong track. And I'm not saying it's wrong, but we might choose, have it hit the group of people, even though it's more people, they were on the wrong track, you know. So we justify, we say, you know, oh, there's a reason for them being hit, you know. It helps alleviate, you know, the guilt of that. But that's what we do a lot of the time with people, you know, with social issues, with contemporary issues, you know. When presidents or politicians make decisions that a lot of us, you know, don't like, you know, like taking us to war, like, you know, sending people to, you know, getting people killed. I mean, people die because of decisions that people make, you know, that powerful people make. And it's not as simple, I don't think, as, you know, these politicians don't care about people. They don't, you know, they're okay with people dying for their decisions, which may be influenced by special interest groups or, you know, other enterprises that, you know, influence them. I think it's more accurate. I mean, I could be wrong, but that, you know, these politicians have to dehumanize people. They have to. I mean, they're human beings like us. All these politicians, even though they seem, you know, grand, just like movie stars, they seem, you know, bigger than. But they're all people. They're all human beings. They're all individuals, and they have to go through mental processes too to justify their decisions on what they do to other countries, what they send people from America, you know, to do to get killed. You know, so they even have to go through dehumanization processes or mental processes which, you know, alleviate their guilt. So, you know, obviously we dehumanize people from other countries, more popular nowadays, Middle East. You know, we don't see them as human beings oftentimes because we can't relate to them. We don't think we have a similar culture. We may not have similar culture. We might not have similar values. So, you know, we group them into like complete categories. I mean, we do this with people from different religious groups. We do people from different ethnic groups. You know, all sorts of things. People from different political parties. But you know, I don't think it'd be possible to stop doing this. But what I'm saying, you know, trying to emphasize is that we recognize, you know, that we're dehumanizing. You know, you take kind of a step back and before you make like a quick judgment onto somebody or on an issue, you know, I think it's important you consider people as individuals. You know, try to maybe rebuild that empathy that you have as from one human being to another. You know, I mean, even in traffic, when we try to get over, you know, try to let people over. I think sometimes we see each other as vehicles instead of people inside those vehicles. You know, we get mad at each other, and that's just more of a recent example. But you know, the point is I'm trying to make is I think we should consider dehumanizing people and consider the consequences that those kind of things have, even though they could be arguably, you know, most natural having these defense mechanisms. They probably are, but still, I mean, considering it, you know, could I think if everyone considered people as humans, you know, empathy, you know, then, you know, that can make a big difference. Just overall for people and quality of lives and decisions. But thank you very much for watching, you know, making it through with me. If you did, I really appreciate it.